In a world where people seek prosperity and opportunity, what happens when the very cities they rely on are collapsing under financial strain? Today, we'll take a closer look at American cities that are facing an uncertain future in 2024. Could one of these be your hometown? The global financial crisis can occur in any country, but if it affects whole cities, then the results may be disastrous. High debts and no taxes often mean that decline in financial receipts and management can bring locales to their knees. Some of the major cities in the United States in 2024, for one reason or another, are at the edge of financial meltdown, with the future appearing rather bleak. That said, what is the cause of this? What can be described as the financial meltdown? But, and more to the point, what does it portend to the inhabitants of those places? Let's go deeper into the factors that have led these cities into such poor future outlook. Number 1, Chicago, Illinois, the weight of unmanageable debt. Chicago has long been one of the biggest economic powerhouses in the U.S. However, behind its glistening skyline and vibrant culture lies a financial crisis that's been brewing for years. Reasoning: Chicago's problems mainly due to record pension costs, which make budgeting and reminding difficult. Negligent management of the city's affairs has resulted in the city being in deep debts, especially in the pensions regime, more than the revenues from the taxes. Accompanied by budget deficits, growing cost of local public services, and other factors, Chicago is almost sinking financially. Policies: Chicago has used attempts such as tax increases and budget reductions to fight the debt, but these actions most affect the common populace. This pinch is evident with higher property taxes and cuts in the services being experienced by many. Notable case: the following year, 2023, the city only averted pension default by borrowing them out, thus postponing a solution to another day. However, it has become impossible to continue with this borrowing as we approach 2024, and therefore the city has a number of decisions to make. Number 2, Detroit, Michigan. Still climbing out of bankruptcy. Detroit's bankruptcy in 2013 was the largest in U.S. history. Although the city has shown signs of recovery, old wounds are reopening and new challenges have emerged. Reasoning: since the beginning of this city's development, the main source of making living has been the auto industry in Detroit. Technological advancement, such as the development of electric cars and changes in production in the global market, the city has been unable to cope. It also has population issue, as the number of people keep on reducing, eventually reducing its tax revenues. Policies: the leaders of the city have initiated the revitalization processes with emphasis on downtown renovation and information technologies, but the other adjacent areas are still in the state of disarray in terms of unemployment and poor standard of infrastructure. Notable case: the indefinite shutdown of a large General Motors plant in the city in 2023 left thousands of people jobless. Measures that delayed the city's slow and uncertain revival. As it stands today, Detroit not ever had the benefit of a sound economic base, and as such, the city could be headed for a bingo on Frostade in 2024. Number 3, Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore's vibrant history and cultural significance have been overshadowed by rising crime rates and economic decline. Reasoning: it was the city's industrial economy, the very core of which is now in ruins and dismantled, with middle-class jobs that used to fill the area. Together with continued social problems, especially the crime situation, the emigration of companies and people has occurred. Policies: thus, the state of Baltimore has the policy of the granting of tax credits in order to encourage businesses to operate in the region. However, such efforts have not produced long-lasting solutions for poverty, and crime eradication hence have not had long-term impact. Notable case: a study conducted in 2023 showed that more than 1/6 of Baltimore's operating budget goes to the cost of addressing the impacts of crime, which means that there is barely anything that can be spent for other areas, such as learning and development or building and construction. This is unhealthy expenditure that is gradually driving Baltimore's fiscal situation to a cliff in 2024. Number 4, San Francisco, California, the tech boom bust. San Francisco, once the epicenter of the tech boom, now faces an economic paradox. It's one of the richest cities in the world, yet it is staring down a financial disaster. Reasoning: San Francisco's wealth disparity is among the highest in the country. While tech giants flourish, the city's middle and lower classes are squeezed out by rising housing costs, leading to a hollowed-out tax base. Meanwhile, the city's reliance on tech has made it vulnerable to economic shocks in the sector. Policies: Attempts to impose taxes on the ultra-wealthy have backfired, as many companies relocate to more tax-friendly states. Meanwhile, rising homelessness and public service demands have stretched the city's budget thin. Notable case: due to the absence of major technologies like Oracle and Tesla, in 2023, the city is struggling to find the ways to compensate for the lost tax income that made the city to feel the pinch in the year 2024. Number 5, New Orleans, Louisiana, the cost of climate change. New Orleans has weathered many storms, but climate change poses an existential threat to its financial stability. Reasoning: As sea levels continue to rise and the frequency of hurricanes increases, the expenditures required to keep the city functioning rise. One of the sources of revenue in the region has been tourism, which has also suffered a bad blow due to increased natural calamities. Policies: Even when the state and the federal government have played their part in supporting the restoration process, New Orleans has been found challenged in meeting the cost of restoration and risk mitigation. This has led to the city incurring so much debt, getting to the point of borrowing to cater for its expenditure. Notable case: this hurricane season, the city had to ask for federal disaster funds to pay for even core functions of government in 2023. But with storms ahead, this isn't sustainable in 2024. In 2024, it was not enough just to have the temporary solution in the light of more storms to come. Conclusion: the collapse of these American cities in 2024 isn't just a financial story, it's a human one. The people living in these places are the ones who will bear the brunt of poor management and economic misfortune. As we look ahead, one question remains: will these cities find a way to rise again, or are they destined to fall into deeper decline? If you found this video informative, make sure to like and subscribe. And let us know in the comments: do you think these cities have a chance at recovery, or is it too late?